Welcome to DStv Roundtable with me, Donovan Goliath. We are here with some of your favorite local superstars on DStv, and today we are chatting everything industry. Do you know what makes me really excited, right? Even in a pandemic, might just be me, did you not notice a spike in the number of shows and the content that was just being pushed out to people? Unbelievable, I think, right?
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely, because my schedule was full before COVID and also during, but I definitely watched a lot of stuff, and I also watched a lot more different things on DStv as well, like Afrikaans things, huisgenoot ware verhale, and then I watched Gomorrah, and then like a lot of things. There were just a lot of stuff to watch, but it wasn't overwhelming. It was fun.
It's crazy.
I did get overwhelming. I think there are two sides to the story.
Okay.
Right. Like, it could have completely killed an industry that usually commercializes itself because everybody panicked. And then all of a sudden people needed to be present and visible. And I mean, that's how marketing works. I need to create awareness. So everyone was on live all day long. Your live is on red, and people are giving out free content, which then diminishes the value that we, have to create from. And particularly as singers, songwriters, or artists who had to perform, now you're being asked to do something because maybe you're a little bit desperate to be seen. So you can go film that at home, and you're thinking, I should, sorry, Shimza, you're like, no, this is going to cost me money anyway. It's going to take my time, and where's it going to lead to? So there was a value equation that got questioned, and so it was important that at level 3, some, content makers went back to work, because I think that we were at the danger of giving too much free content and devaluing a system, either out of coping in panic that you need to stay relevant and present, and so everybody came up with these dope ideas, but they were exhausted by month 2, and we were digitally exhausted as well. It was like, whoa. And then the user behavior. To teach people, I did a live show called Urban Sessions. Yeah. Yes, Militia could broadcast globally. There were 3 cameras. I was on a big festival stage with lights and everything. But the education job I had to do to tell people, register on militia.com. Oh, wait, now it's called computicket.com. Okay, when you get there, go to transactions, my transactions, view. Whoa, do you know how many people fell off? Literally, like 150 people bought tickets, and then only 40 people watched. Because it was just like an overwhelming experience.
My mom usually says, as your hart reg is, if your heart is right, that content will last. It will go to where it must go. So if you start something because of other reasons of not wanting to give people entertainment, it's gonna fall flat. And I think also I didn't see those. I just watched what I wanted to watch, and so I think the things that's not gonna last is not gonna last. Yeah.
Even with Lockdown House Party, we started, when I was looking at it, I removed myself from what was happening, all the lives and stuff, and I checked, everyone was doing their own small thing, This one has 50,000 views, this one they're laughing at them because they only had one person watching, And I was like, actually, I can create something that brings everyone together into one space, and we all have the views.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if it's 50,000 views from you, 10,000 from you, 1 from that one, it's going to have more impact than us just doing things one by one.
That's brilliant.
And that's when I decided to bring everyone together. We did one stream, and that just went viral. And then the next day, Channel called, and they were like, "We need you on TV."
The next day?
During. The next day on the Sunday, we were at MultiChoice with our masks, of course.
But it's that resilience, though. It's that South African resilience to go, here's a major challenge, we're still gonna push through. Because I was blown away by that completely. I was like, man, how are all of these shows just like coming? There's something for everybody here. Like you could go any channel. There was something that you could watch, which was so amazing. Because in my mind, you go, this pandemic has happened. Productions are obviously going to stop at some point. What is going to happen? What are people going to watch? Because now they are at home. Didn't happen. The flip side happened. Poof. This explosion, which was so fantastic. And I speak about the South African spirit, and I think you keep speaking about that quite a bit.
Absolutely. Think about it. We're in a country that's used to facing challenges all the time. Imagine operating a business without power and in COVID, and other challenges as well. If you're a European, you haven't faced a challenge in the last 20, 25 years. None, zero, because everything is planned, worked out for you. This was just for me personally, I think for South Africans, another challenge. But we are kind of challenge fit. We
That's nice.
we
like
are
that.
challenge fit, whether it's politics, whether it's ESCOM, whether it's whatever it might be. We're incredibly fit, and we just stood up and said, well, this is the resilience, and this is just another answer.
Yeah.
That's why we can create even in adversity. That's the amazing part, because we've always done it. We always come up, even in the worst adversity, South Africans switch on to solution mode, never to defeatist mode. There's always a solution, always collaboration. It's naturally ingrained in us in the way that we respond to immense pressure. I think for us this was just another challenge.
And you mentioned something very interesting there when you said collaboration, because we've seen like this incredible spike of co-productions happening where a lot of our shows now are being seen globally, accepted globally as well, which is fantastic, telling a lot more South African stories. People are really getting to see who we are and what we're about, and not just basing South Africa off of cliches that are so old and stereotypes about the country, etc., etc. Bishop, I'll ask this question to you, sir. Like, what do you think makes our stories so interesting and so globally relevant?
Before that, I want to talk about that collaboration.
Yes.
I guess when the pandemic came, we were not ready. We didn't see it coming. We never thought the country could close that way. I'm speaking that from the spiritual side of it. Where ourselves as ministers, who didn't believe in Facebook or that there's Facebook, you can communicate with people. But when the country closed, I remember a friend of mine never had a Facebook page, not even a profile. So he had to take his daughter's profile and preach on Sunday. And he was preaching to a different market, because those are just a friend to the child. They know nothing about whatever he's talking about, So we were not ready about that. And I guess he was giving a lot of content, but to the wrong market as well. Because we're not ready for it.
I got you. And back to the original question, like what would you say makes our stories so interesting for global audiences, so different?
I don't know how I would say, because I think we are more, especially with my show, we are more relevant to our people as African, because we're giving an African content, especially my show is in Zulu, and we're attracting a lot of people that we're telling their story, what normally happens, ekasi, and they see somebody they know from next door. We take it to Durban, they see somebody that they know from Kwamashu, so they know we're not faking it, or we're not trying to make them perform a scene or something like that.
I think the other thing, I'm with you on that. I'm always, sorry, my brain always goes to places. But I think the other thing is that when you look at societies that tend to become homogeneous, whether it's like European culture that says it must be like this, it must be like that. Just look the Danish and the Swedish, and or Americans, where somehow it's like, okay, it's one country, one language. When you start to look at the African continent, and then you don't see that kind of homogeneousness, and you see variety, diversity, different cultures and all those things, of course you're going to come back to it. And there's more to unpack here. The world is looking at us now because we haven't diluted so much of our culture. Yes, we've lost some of it here and there along the way through various things, whether that's colonialism or whatever. But I think the opportunity now is to really unearth what already exists here. And that is in our diversity, it's in our culture, and it is in the fact that we are different and we have so much more to present because of that,
Absolutely fantastic. Do you think there's an opportunity then to to really start packaging. I mean, a lot of these things that you're speaking about here, infinite number of stories. And I think, for me, it's always just been about the perception and the energy and the light and the vibrance and the rhythm. Like, these things, it exists and we're so accustomed to it, you know, but like there's such a great opportunity to package these things in such interesting ways, especially now, and, you know, show the rest of the world, this is us.
The thing is, we overthink, man. We overthink things, and we just get discouraged because we are overthinking. If we can stop overthinking and just implement, then we'll have a lot to offer to people.
That's actually a good point, because it's right there. It's all here.
Yeah.
It really is all here.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes you get focused on the wrong things, but the answer is often right here.
Like
you know?
Shimza said earlier, like, just do you. And you said, just action it, you know? And it's like, if you're overthinking, you're second guessing yourself. When actually the magic is just like, you took exactly what you do and you lifted it from the, you know, festival to restaurant to TV.
Yeah.
Literally, you know?
And sometimes it's the decision makers that will stall and you know,
Right.
because I feel like if I had gone to channel to say this is the type of show that I want to do, they would have said, but we've got this and that. Why this? How are you going to do that? They were going to question a lot of things, and obviously because I might not have all the answers, they will find a way for us not to do it, you know?
Yeah.
But I showed them that.
And that's the power.
Yeah, I showed them this is what I had. MTV was there. They were like, bro, Zorat. Channel O was there. And I had to juggle which one would have made sense for me, you know? But to some extent, like even now with the show that I'm working on, you wait for people to, 1, do their jobs, 2, to take you seriously, 3, to fit you into their meeting schedule, you know? And it frustrates you a lot. But if there was a way for me to shoot the show, package, and go, I would do that, because they would see the impact that it will have. But for you to explain to someone else that's worried about their own things is also another problem.
But it goes back to that collaboration thing. Once again, Devan, like you mentioned, is because that's what it is. It's not so much that it's Channel O's show or it's Shimza's show. It's a collaboration.
It's a collaboration
between Channel O and Shimza. So the power lies in, instead of you going, okay, I'm gonna go to a DStv, for example, and tell them about this vague idea that I have. You're kind of you're giving them the responsibility now to just make it happen.
But
you know?
even if you go with them with a straight plan, bro, it's like, does this go into our budget? It's still,
you've got to make it happen.
Yeah,
you've got to flesh it out so that collaboration can happen.
Yeah, with their resources. And sometimes, like I'm saying, it just doesn't work because people have their own ideas.
Yeah.
You bringing in your idea, they've got their own ideas, and whatever you say to them is like, hey, whatever, bro. Me, I want to do this thing, you know. So we always want to collaborate, but if you can do stuff alone, just so you can start, do it, bro, and people will just follow after.
Pietie, speak to me about what excites you. Like, what do you foresee in the future, just in terms of storytelling and the content that we're going to be putting out?
You know what excites me is I feel like perhaps we all are. I think I've got a hard time calling myself an artist because of my personal experience and associations with it and my life, even though I think all of you are artists. I do think that we are in the business of human connection. That's something I heard recently someone said, and it's so beautiful for me. So I'm not medium precious, but what I am, and that's why I love being part of a podcast as well, and it sounds cliche and like, I don't know, it just sounds whatever it sounds like, but I look forward to trying to build bridges where there once was shrapnel or debris or nothing. So for me, there's opportunity. Like we were joking just now, and I said there's a saying, I'm so glad I can work in a Zulu phrase. There's a phrase, Yiti Iksasa, ne? Like we are the future.
Yeah.
And I'm aware I can't speak on behalf of many things, but I can see goodness in human beings. There's also less goodness, but I think, you know, somewhere in connection, there's a magic. And wasn't that like Mnet's slogan at some stage?
Yeah.
Yes.
Worked in Zulu and Mnet.
Done.
For good
Thank you very
measure.
much. Yeah, where the magic lives, right here.
Right, yeah.
Meister.
That's fantastic. And just very quickly, you know, like from your point of view, what's like your dream sort of concept or story that you would like to see told in South Africa? Like I've always had this idea, like when are we gonna do like a heist spy thriller, but on that Mission Impossible type level in South Africa, you know, cash in transit heist, like full on.
You know, the thing is, it could be done in a second. We've got unbelievably talented writers and producers. Note the problem with those kind of movies.
Money.
Budget.
So what would you like to see?
I would love to see like a set it off type of film.
Set it off.
Like a set it off type of film. Like
Queen Latifah.
I'm like a big women fan,
Yeah.
right? So I'm talking like black. I mean, not. What am I saying?
Sorry, no whites in this. Sorry.
No, that's not actually what I want to say. What I want to say is, so actually, I worked with this woman. That's actually what's happening in my head, right? So I worked with this lady who insisted that everyone in her team be a woman, right? She
lean in.
Yeah,
Lean in, all the ladies.
She would actively seek out like women every single time, and she was always like the stronger, like the bolder,
Even grips,
like
everything, just like
the better. So like I always had this vision of like an all-woman crew, all-woman cast. You know what I mean? Like let's just, you know, and you hardly see that here. I mean, like even with women's cineas, for example, there aren't a lot of them. You know what I mean? And it's that's what I want to see. So like a set it off film, but like everybody there. I just want to see women all over.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Ladies,
Yeah.
all the ladies.
Like that's my vibe. That's my vibe. That's my vibe.
Shannon, how about you?
This is a very hard question for me because I'm so bad at favorites. So I'm not the person to ask this question.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a genre at you, like sci-fi.
No, go away.
You're not what?
No,
sci-fi?
I'm not a sci-fi
Horror.
person.
'Cause we
love
putting up on
horror, but we
horrors.
have lots of horror.
Horror's coming through hard.
You know what? It would be really fantastic if we could nail comedy. Like really smart comedy. It's something that we as South Africans battle with. Comedy.
Yeah.
Like even just like a really cool sitcom. Like when last did we have a really good sitcom? Like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
That would be something, because I'm seriously just dying to do something funny now. Like I'm like, please do me just do
Something very
something
light.
a little lighthearted.
No more lawyers.
Hey Kim.
Well, I might have something for you. I
Well,
was
the
actually
lawyer's
just saying
fine,
to
it's
Pietie.
Sam.
So I am producing my first feature film
Yeah.
Well played.
Is it funny?
for the Mnet people.
Is it funny?
It's action comedy, Lala. And I was just saying to Pietie, you can ask him. I said to him, I think the one character, I said to him, don't you think Shannon would be perfect for this? And he was like,
Manifested.
Oh, yeah. So it is, wait, I'm going to tell you. It's like the concept. Don't think slapstick. It's not slapstick at all.
because-
But the concept of a police academy vibe. Right?
that's cool.
Meets Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Right.
Meets Handsome.
I'm in. Have your people call my people.
Meet the office. Seriously.
This excites me very much.
That's
Love
why
it.
I'm here, is to connect people and
Thank
give
you
them
for
love.
facilitating.
That's the only reason
human
why.
Human connection.
Oh, that's
Nice.
cool.
I'm serious.
That is very
I'm
exciting.
not even kidding now.
I like that. Action
True
comedy.
story.
Terrence, over to you quickly, brother. What do you want to see?
Terezana.
For me, I think the one thing that I would want to see is an authentic African superhero sequel.
Nice.
You know, and because
Nice.
I've been working on that for the longest time because I sketch, you know, so I've been sketching from a young age, and I'd come up with these crazy characters like from the hood, you know, like authentic, real. Yeah, you know,
This is already happening.
You are the hero.
Yeah, it's got to be you, Terry.
He's the guy.
So yeah, I think that's the one thing
That's
I'd
really cool.
look up to. Yeah.
Fantastic. Because I've always had this thing, you know, like I've always wanted to see Shaka remade, but on Gladiator 300 level. You know what? And you know what scenes in particular? I want to see 1,000 spears flying through the air, and it just goes dark. Those vibes, just strong, lean, dark, super cut.
Did you watch the originals?
Oh yeah.
We'd have to resurrect Henry Kale because
Now I was about to say.
yeah, because
That's going to be the problem. The problem with Henry Kele is Shaka. That's the problem.
I would not believe the real Shaga if he introduced himself. I wouldn't believe him. I'd be like, fam, you are not Shaga. You are not Shaga. Henry Kale is Shaga. I would never. Like the real guy can come in, I'd be like, dude, no.
Get out of my
Please
face.
bring me Henry Kale. That's the guy.
What faking is
But
this?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That would be really, really
epic,
awesome, eh?
like big
Yeah.
Ridley Scott type level. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Then for something
This
like
is-
that as well.
Exactly. No, unfortunately, but I mean, just
Gotcha.
think about
I mean,
it.
just getting a comic book off the ground is a nightmare.
Absolutely. I mean,
Publication as well.
simple
so
comic
hard.
book, yeah.
So hard. Yeah.
maybe you could be Shaka. Butterless. Here we go. Angie.
Shaka.
What do you want to say?
Shaka Zulu.
I mean, I'd love to see like a location version of, Kasi version of Money Heist. I'm not promoting crime, but I know like real stories like that.
Yeah.
Kasi, you understand?
The psychology.
Yeah.
So never mind the action, but the psychology and the planning behind
Exactly.
it.
So
But
where would
there
the
are real
tunnel be?
stories like that.
Where would
at
the tunnel
location.
be? From where to where?
Ash, we'll have to
tunnel in
figure
Cape
that
Town.
out.
That's
We'll
cool.
figure that out. That movie is the best. But imagine that in like a Kasi version of that. And we have characters like that.
Absolutely.
We've got characters like that. We've got Ama Wanted, but that goes under, like they disappear in front of Pamwaband.
Guys, we are throwing out ideas here. Pietie,
You know?
how about you, brother?
So many good ideas. I want to work on all your projects with you, please.
I see you like a fantasy, like a Harry Potter
I'd love that.
in South Africa. Imagine.
There's a difference between what I watch and what I would like to be part of. So I'd like to be part of... Look, I watch like crime documentaries on serial killers. Do you know what I mean? Which is psychology, which is hectic but fascinating.
I watch it,
Fascinating.
Yeah.
It is fascinating.
You know, so...
You wouldn't want to be in that?
The problem is the country. While we were speaking now, I was like, imagine you do that in South Africa. Isn't there enough crime? And is that the reason why? Let's take an instance. If we take another platform and there's some like documentary about some serial killer or whatever, and everyone's like infatuated, or some sports hero or whatever. If we do it here, do you think it's too close to home? That it doesn't feel like entertainment? That it's like, oh my gosh, this feels like the thing I heard about that happened last week. You know what I'm asking?
Yeah, it's like, when we had the Station Strangler, and we had those daily reports. It was certainly not entertainment. I mean, everyone was scared. So I don't know.
Exactly. So
I kind of vibe with the Pietie Potter idea for you, magic.
Pietie Potter.
Yeah.
So what I would like to, I love that. So that's what I watch, but that's probably it's more psychological than it is reality-based over here. I think that's maybe a bit close to home. But yeah, I think I do in the same vein of wanting to connect with people from different backgrounds, races, languages, you name it. I think there's still I know there's lots of discussions globally going on and stuff, but it's similar to it's similar to earlier we spoke about somebody, and there's, somebody do something. And that's why it's been I'm not saying, learn Zulu and it's changing your life. I know it's a micro step of just communicating with more people just than my Afrikaans friends. I know it's just a small thing.
Yeah, but it's action, and the universe rewards action.
Exactly.
And it's beautiful.
And I'll finish it with this because I won't go on all day, but in sociology, which is similar to like psychology, but just on a more societal level, there's the very basic experiment that links to what we were saying about somebody. If you get to an accident and there is 50 people around the accident, the person who was in the accident is less likely to get help when there's 50 people around as opposed to when there's one person.
Yeah, because everyone else is expecting someone else to do it.
Yes, responsibility dilutes in mass. So we're all whatever, somebody, this country. Looks, whatever, man. Shut up and stop complaining and do it.
Change starts with me.
Clint Brink, we were speaking about Clint Brink gave some of the best advice. He was like, Pietie, sometimes you don't have to tell people the answer, bro. Just be the answer.
Yeah.
I was like,
Absolutely.
I'll try.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Kim, are you going to stick with your action comedy?
I'm going to stick with my action comedy, and what I do want to say is that, you know what, and I'm very sincere when I say this, channels like the CakeNet and the Mnets have really shown great support specifically for our feature film industry. They really have, and that's been remarkable, where we could talk about one day, and now it's not one day, it's like, do it, man.
Yeah.
Do it and take it and take a chance. And all of a sudden they go, yeah, we love this, come, let's go. What do you need? And you're like, wow, dude, we were just sitting in a green room writing down character names, and here we are doing it now.
But the universe rewards action. Yep. And just writing down that name, you're manifesting.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
Yep.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much. Great recommendations from your side. This is DStv Roundtable. I'm Donovan Goliath. Please do hit us up in the comment section and tell us what movies you would like to see, movies or series you would like to see come out of South Africa. And please do keep an eye out for all the amazing things that these guys are manifesting over here. Take care.